Awesome. All right.
Do you see the flashing light on that one?
I don't.
Oh.
I see a little tiny green light though.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Red light.
We should be good. We should be
The
good.
red light's blinking, that's good.
Red light blinking.
Yeah.
Normally you
We're
can see from
recording
the
red light.
All right. So, all of you would like to hire people, build your team.
You sure?
Eventually, we'll need to.
I'm ready.
All right. Are you all ready? By a show of hands, if you're ready. Cool. All right. The line there is just a breaker. It's just for looks. Silly pen moves itself. So, for HR systems, can anybody tell me what you feel you need to be able to talk to the people who are prospective employees and what they really want to see?
So you need to be clear on what it is you're looking for in terms of your team, your value, the specific tasks as well as the value.
All right.
If you open that door behind you, just so we can
It's
get
still,
the airflow.
yeah.
Is there
I
a-
can see up here it's a lot more than back there.
Is there a page that you're referring to, or?
No. Oh, the second to last page is blank.
Yes.
So you'll have room. Actually, so is the page before that is also blank.
Oh, because this is not the 7.
Yeah, this was the bonus section that a whole bunch of you had asked about, and so I have included it in here. And there's no workbook for it yet. There will be later, and I will see if I can send you the notes so you can do that later. What else? What else do you need to be able to hire people?
Motivation on their part. So it's mindset.
Need what the identifier.
Yeah, there's plenty of those out here.
You know, they can fake it, is that what you're saying?
So to identify mindset and their motivations. What else? Anybody know?
Qualification and values.
It could be important.
Skills.
And did I hear values?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Are we going for a ramble?
Yep.
Yeah, you need to know what they're passionate about so that what you're doing or selling isn't in conflict with what they believe is core.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Their values and
Mindset.
passions. So the question is, how do you find people who fit this without spending a lot of time? I know personally when I first started hiring, I spent 40 hours looking through resumes, through about 200 resumes. And then responding to them, and then setting up for a phone interview, and then getting to the phone interview to find out that they really weren't interested. Or the worst thing happened was that they said they were interested, we went to a second interview and a third interview, and I hired them and then they never showed up. Which will happen to everybody. It happens. The key is, do you spend a lot of time finding those people, or do you spend very little time? And so you need to be able to find them quickly, easily, and effortlessly. So the first thing you need is your job post. And most people, when they put up a job post, they just batter it with all the information. There are 3 key things to every job post. 1, it's an ad. And what I mean by an ad is you're going to take the skills, qualifications, responsibilities, everything that we have on the previous page here, and you're going to create 1 paragraph. And that's the top. The second are required skills that they have to have. Requirements, basically. And the last is what everybody cares about. Orange.
What's in it for me?
Your mission, your vision, your purpose, your dream, and you can even include your target market in there. Mission, vision, purpose, dream. Oh, and values. The values is optional, but it does help. You'll go over this in their phone interview, so you'll get to know that. So when you post up a job, these are the 3 most important things. People really, they look at this. They look at the first thing and they look at the last thing. The requirements. You'll have people who apply and don't have a single requirement filled. And there's no way to prevent that from happening. So the best thing to do is to automate that process to do a check on that. And it requires them to do more than just apply. Because anybody can apply to a job. Recently I had a gentleman apply, and it wasn't even him applying. He had a friend who was sending out his resume to 100 different companies. So you're going to experience that in each one of your businesses, and you need to be able to combat that.
What kind of business do you have that you have a team working with you? Like you're saying that you're just
What do you mean?
someone that wanted to apply for the position that you were.
Oh, it was a sales position to get people into workshops like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we have sales, we have business coaching, we have operations, admin. We've got about 15 different job postings. And yes, Flores.
So if you say what goes in the ad part, again?
Yeah, so it's all of this in a paragraph.
And responsibilities is actually kind of required skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of.
So
That
you
includes
just
values and passions too?
you can include any and all of this. You can include part of it. Definitely this stuff right here. Qualifications and skills goes in the next part, and the passion and values is something that you can do. You can get in the phone interview.
Well, and if you're creative about it, it seems like your ad will just be sprinkled with all of your values and such anyway.
Yeah, it really will be. The question, you can either add them as like, we value integrity,
Yeah.
or just include the languaging that has to do with that. Exactly. So for the job posts, I've created an entire set of job posts by going out and looking up on average 5 to 10 of each type of post, and from different companies in my same industry or in similar industries. And then I take them, I cut them, and I put them in one long thing, and then I put them all together in one. And then I take the responsibilities and I send them that after they've been accepted for their phone interview, so that they can see that. So they have the responsibilities that's on the job post itself, but then you have duties, you have qualifications on the job post itself, and then you have the actual responsibility, what they're going to be doing day to day, how they're going to be doing it, what skill level they need, all the specifics. Because if they're not in line with your culture, they're not a good fit for your company anyways. So why spend the time and hire people that aren't part of that culture that you really want to create? So how many of you have hired before? 1, 2, okay. And using job postings? Yeah. Was it grueling?
And it's worse when you have an industry-specific one that you have to use. It's a nightmare, because everybody thinks they're qualified for everything, and you get this, plus if I did that once 20 years ago.
Yep.
What?
So you want to know how to automate that?
Make it easy.
Okay. Rather than asking for the resume up front, you're going to create a capture page.
Something they need to fill out.
This gets their email and their name. That's all it does. And it sends it to your list, your email list. For you, Dottie, since you're not going to be using that, you can have them, you would skip this section. Basically, you would have them fill out the second part, which is the questionnaire. So we'll go into that in a moment. So you have them do their email list.
Excuse me, I'm not gonna hire anybody?
No, you said you're not going to do them online,
Oh, right.
right? You said you don't want to use online.
Right.
So this is the one section you would skip. The rest you would just do by paper, and they would fill out the forms on a piece of paper.
Are you still talking about for hiring a person?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but if you do want, I don't wanna hire anybody for right now.
For right now. And when you do, when you're ready to, you would just skip this system if you're not going to do it online.
Okay, no.
Is there a makeshift, in other words, could you put a Craigslist ad with an email that says respond with name and email, and then just put it into a database that you're working off of? Or is
There's a purpose for the capture page, and because you go into your email list, you have it go to a specific email list that has to do with that job posting.
Okay.
So this email list is going to go down, and within 24 hours, it's going to send out an autoresponder with the questions that we're going to go over in the next section, in the next page. Yeah. I don't look at a resume until, actually I don't look at it till they're on the second interview.
Can I do the same survey monkey and get to that what you said?
Sure. This
And
is
then it's
Yeah, that's
capturing it, and then it's all the,
in the email that they get a request for their resume. So SurveyMonkey, I don't know if you can upload a resume.
No,
Yeah.
there's some other ones, but they're paid.
Yeah. So this is you can do this on MailChimp for $9 a month.
You can also do it on Benchmark email for free.
And do they have capture pages that you can integrate with though? MailChimp integrates with very easily. That's what I use. And it's $9 a month for that. And if you are only hiring 3 months out of the year, then it's only $27 for the year. So it's a lot less expensive than trying to set up a whole bunch of other stuff. That's been what I found. So within 24 hours, you're going to send out the autoresponder. And this is the pre-qualifier.
And you said the autoresponder has a questionnaire and request for resume.
Yeah, so this is the pre-qualifier. And that's what goes in the autoresponder. It's going to ask for their status, expectations, why they applied for you, why they're looking for a job and why they applied for you. That's probably one of the biggest ones. And then any additional information, and that's where I include resume. And I also include phone number.
Status, what is status?
Moving, field change, working, U.S. residency.
Okay.
What's their status?
That's kind of why are they looking also, right?
This is their why. Like, I'm looking for a job because I'm really not satisfied in the industry that I'm in. I get that one a lot. And I'm looking to transition to something new.
Yeah, so this would be, status would be the opportunity to say I'm a full-time student and I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So you
And
said
then-
transition, relocation, you said something else.
For status? Yeah, so I have this automated, so I know the generic ones.
So this is
I mean-
part of that program MailChimp, you said? This
Uh,
is part of that?
Well, this is what you'll put in MailChimp
Okay.
as an autoresponder.
Okay.
So I actually have them already pre-made out,
Mhm.
which you can get, or you can always design your own.
Okay.
And you would put them into MailChimp to where when they apply for that capture page, then it's going to automatically respond to them within, I think it's actually, MailChimp does it within like 3 or 4 hours, which is why I like them too. After that, I can automate it to where if they've opened it, then it'll send them another one with an acceptance or rejection letter.
Let me just clarify, so status simply is what they're doing now, and the why is why are they applying and why do they pick your company to apply to?
Yeah,
Okay.
good clarification, thank you. Is this clear for the pre-qualifiers? Any other questions?
Is there a service like Pre-Chimp or what's it called?
MailChimp?
MailChimp that has an automatic responder for just people who are interested in our service?
Yeah. Yeah, it's MailChimp is a email response
Responder?
service.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's for, you could also have it for your service, you could.
Yeah. This MailChimp is designed for your service. I've just
Got it.
come up with a awesome new use for it that allows you to automate your hiring process without spending a whole lot of time. So. The next step is moving forward. So there's two things that you can do. You can either, when you have the response from them, you can either have it automatically respond with select your interview time, which is what I do because it allows me to streamline it even more, and then I can cancel an appointment if I want, or I can when I pick up the phone, I can tell within about 30 seconds whether they're going to fit or not. And that's simply because of some of the languaging stuff you'll all learn at Entremind too. So.
Are you going to explain how you automate the times
Mhm.
as on an autoresponder?
So moving forward, you can either automate that process or you can review those questions beforehand and then send the same set of letters. The first autoresponder from the pre-qualifications is phone interview. And how you do a phone interview is I have a set of copy that allows you to, it says, thank you for applying, thank you for filling this out. You're going to be able to select your phone interview time. Click here. And it brings them to an appointment setting program.
Link to calendar.
Yeah. So this goes to your calendar. Personally, I use Google Calendars because you can set up appointment slots. You can make it really easy. It's free. So I have other ones as well that I use for my business, but for this, I use Google Calendars. And it's either the next step, or after you've taken a look at those, you can do a rejection letter.
Prior
And I-
to having the interview?
You can do it either before or after the interview. Yeah. So if you had the interview and you didn't like them, you can send them a rejection letter. Or if you have if you've read their answers to those questions and you didn't like their answers, then you can send them a rejection letter. And if they've already scheduled their phone interview, you just cancel their interview. The nice thing about Google Calendars is it'll send them a notification saying, we canceled your interview for you.
So make sure you send the rejection letter first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you'll get somebody who wants to argue with you. And the response to that is something along the lines, this is bluntly put, but this is the exact reason why I didn't want to hire you. So you don't want somebody who's going to be a pain. If they're a pain in the interview process, they're going to be more of a pain when you hire them. So that's the moving forward section. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, a little comment.
Go for it.
There's somebody who was attempting to sell me a $4,000 machine that produces alkaline water. And she was just really insistent, and she got aggressive, and she got in my face. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't want to be associated with her at all, let alone give her some money for commission. So she failed the phone interview in my face.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know that yet, but
Yeah, tell her.
I will.
You can even send her this rejection letter once you get it. By the way, the rejection letter is overarching. So it tells, my rejection letter is something like, thank you for applying. It doesn't look like you're a fit for any of the positions within our company. And this may be because you didn't send your response fast enough. I didn't like your responses. The time for your scheduled interview wasn't within alignment. Like I give like 10 reasons and or any other reason that's not stated here. So if they respond to that, then that's a whole nother, same exact thing. And it's basically just to prevent them from contacting me back because
Saying,
I don't.
oh, well, I need
Yeah.
your qualifications.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And maybe in your case, the product would have been good because it's a Kagan maybe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a great product.
Yes.
It's the best, one of a
I
kind,
agree.
but she wasn't
But
there
if
to
you-
represent
I do know
it
somebody,
well.
if you are interested, who's not like that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they'll feast you before they even.
Yeah, they give you like 2 months worth of water first before they offer to sell it to you.
Yeah, and they bring you over to the house and they feed you and.
You know, I may consider that.
There's a woman in Encinitas who will let you bring your Kangen bottle and she'll fill it for you.
Yeah,
You don't even have to buy the machine, she just wants people to have the healthy water.
that's so kind.
It's amazing.
That's good. You need to give something away to make
Yeah.
a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never charges for it, she doesn't charge for it at all. I take my 3-gallon or 5-gallon jug to her, she fills it up, I take it home, it's good for 3 days, back up there in a week.
Where does she live?
Encinitas.
Hey.
All right.
All right.
Which is interesting because the filters are very expensive, so I'm kind of surprised. Anyways,
Yeah.
let's go on. Next one.
All right, so the next step is to actually have the phone interview. And this is not to find out what they do, where they've been, how they got there. It's to have a conversation with them.
how they think, what their values are, how they work with other people.
How they sound on the phone.
Yeah.
How they sound. You can know, well, once you get really good, you'll know within 30 seconds. If they're good, how good they are, where they're going to be fit, where they're going to be placed, what you need to do to make sure that they stay there, what you need to do to make sure that they're consistently producing, and how you can get them to do even more for your company.
So I have a question about the phone interview. If you're not, that's it for the phone interview at this point?
I was going to write it up here, but.
So, one of the things that I've always been involved in when interviewing people is like giving them a problem. That's, you know, kind of how you interact with, like, in our environment here, right? Yeah, it's how, like, okay, this is one of the challenges that we would experience in, you know, just having this discussion, and how would you
Yeah.
handle that challenge? Do you
Yep.
do that?
Yeah, so that's actually the second interview.
Oh.
That's basically what the second
Well,
interview
that's
is.
true, because I'm usually interviewing after they've gone through this.
So we're going to do interviews. One, it's phone. Get to know their values. You want to make sure that their values are in line with you and your values are in line with them. Personally, for a phone interview, and this is something that I have done just because I found that it works really great, I make them ask 3 questions about my company. My pre-frame to that is, what 3 questions do you have about me, my company, and our compensation?
And that's on the first interview.
That's the first thing I say. Hey, how are you doing? I'd like to let you get started by asking 3 questions that you have about me, the company, and our pay structure, our compensation. And if they don't ask 3 good questions, I tell them, thank you, have a good day. It gets them off the phone very quickly. Because I have put probably about 75% or 80% of everything that they need to know on my website, and I send them the links in the emails that they get. So if they ask me a question that has anything to do with anything that's on my website, thank you, you didn't read, have a good day. You don't want to be hiring people that are not following through and not asking the right questions. So that's a great way to remove somebody from that list that's going to,
Require you to spoon feed them.
yes. I had a very, actually I told my,
I was laughing because I've heard you say to somebody, it's like, well, that's on the website.
yeah.
Thank you very much, have a great day.
I had a lady, it was a 60-second conversation, and got on the phone. I said, hey, how are you doing? What questions do you have, et cetera, et cetera. And she started literally like, what's your mission? Like, that's on our website. What's your next question? It's like, well, who do you serve? That's on our website. What's your next question? And she started, and I stopped her. I'm like, thank you. You know what? You're not the right fit for our company. You need to find somebody else. Good luck. Have a great day. And I got a very nasty email from her. And she called me a word that starts with an A and ends with 2 S's. And I respond, and then she's like, why didn't you hire me?
Because I don't want one of those animals in my business.
Exactly. And she's like, why didn't you hire me? And after she had wrote this whole thing and then called me that and then said, I'm basically like, why didn't you hire me? And I just said, refer to your email, basically. You answered your own question.
Do you keep a collection of these?
They're all, yeah, you have to keep them all.
For legal
for legal purpose, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you actually had responded to her, that's the kind of person who goes and gets a lawyer.
Yeah.
They're
And,
like,
but you do kind of have to respond.
Yeah.
You have to say, thank you, goodbye.
well, no, but I mean, if you give them a reason.
Oh, right,
If
right,
you don't
right.
give them a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Refer to your letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Perfect, I
you
love
can't
that.
say, well, you called me an ass, because then she can say, hey, he called me an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that word.
The word that starts with an A and ends with two S's.
Right.
So the second is your in-person, or if they're going to be hiring, if you're going to hire them outside of your city, you do it by video and use Google videos, because you can and put them on air and record them for your own purposes.
Yeah. And you can do multiple people on Google.
Yeah,
Video
you can do a
now.
group.
Up to 10 now.
Well, 9 other people, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do a group interview too, which can be your second interview.
What were the 3 questions? You asked them to ask you 3 questions about you?
About me, the company, and the compensation, the pay, how much they are going to get paid. All of my positions pay commission. So if they ask me how are they going to get an hourly or salary wage, it's have a good day. That's me. If you are going to offer them hourly or salary, you're going to find more people, and they still may not be as qualified. So it's a toss-up really for that. The second interview is specifically to do 2 things. One is to finish getting to know their values. You got a question?
So basically, you can hire them even though you're not thinking about having an organization yet, like me, for example. You can hire them there so they can promote you, and
Yeah.
then they get compensation based on how
Yeah.
well they did. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
So yeah, all of you should have a sales team out there picking up the phone, going door to door, whatever you need to do, going to networking events for you, doing whatever you need to do to have them making you money right now. And there are plenty of people out there who will work purely on commission because they know that they can make a lot of money, especially if they've been doing it in the past. One of the things is to make sure that they have been doing commission in the past. So it's just something you learn.
Well, I would just like to throw this in. I have, be careful of that they've done something similar to what you want them to do. I might have been I was very effective as a realtor, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'd be very effective on the same, I wouldn't be on the same level at all
That's true.
in something else, so just.
Yeah.
That's true.
don't-
Different kind of
don't-
sales.
don't
They
be
might
Right.
not really represent you, so
Yeah,
Well-
if you
The
sell
way
a
you want
product,
to be
find
represented.
somebody who sells a product,
Right.
a product. If you
Get to
sell
know their
service,
values.
sell service.
Yeah. Once you'll know them by their values and continuing to do that here. The thing is with that is it's more of make sure that they've done commission sales in the past and that they've done well at it. Because
How do you verify that? Because without being a real company, it's pretty hard to get access to you're supposed to be able to get access to the dollars, but not the details with the dollars, but.
You
it seems
can-
like you can.
they should give you references. Just say, hey, I would like one reference from from your manager at the position you made the most on commission. And I just want to talk with them and find out how you did.
What I'm feeling is that as far as referral, it works similar because they already know about your work. And as far as hiring somebody, it's when, for example, when I decide to do larger events, and then it will be a great idea for them to go out there and tell as many people as they could about certain events they're going on.
Yeah, so you can hire seasonally, temporary as well. It's more effective to hire somebody full-time. As commission, it doesn't matter because like we have another event, we have this in November. I have people who are going out and they're selling that for November. That's 3 months from now. So, why not have them, the further out that they go, just basically plan ahead. If they're doing a huge event, they're focusing all on that event, and then, okay, that event's sold out. Now we've got 3 more events in the next year or the next 6 months. Okay, 1/3 of them goes to one event, 1/3 of them goes to another, 1/3 of them goes to another. And then as they go, as they are sold out, then you take that team and you move them to the other. And you continue to do that. So that way you're not wasting time, because hiring people still takes time. That's
I'm
why.
gonna ask a specific your business question. You've got people now who are selling for a program that's 3 months away. Did they just get started now to do that? I mean, you're moving them forward, but what's your sales window time?
What do you mean my sales window time?
So like hospitality sales, to close a client, it's a 6-month process. It sounds like,
For me,
Yeah.
it's about an hour.
an hour before the event. No.
Oh, no, I mean,
How far is your sales team?
it should take them about an hour to close somebody.
Right.
From meeting them to closing them. Is that what,
No,
opening them?
So what I'm trying to figure out is if you're hiring, so we're going through the interview process, we get to the second interview, we've met them face, we're gonna bring them on board.
Okay.
And we're gonna send them out to do commission-only sales. From the point in which they come on board with you to the point in which the product that they're selling, the program they're selling is on board, how long are you giving them to kind of be ramped up?
I tell them 90 days
Okay,
to ramp up.
yeah,
So you just let them know, like, you might not make very much within your first 90 days.
sure.
Which is, that is something that you need to strongly emphasize.
Yeah.
Because I tell everybody this,
Right, not everybody hears it.
but yeah, not everybody hears it.
Is it in your employment contract?
I have, all my contracts are for 90 days.
No, but that part about the first 90 days, is that in your employment contract?
You know, it's
Yeah.
each one of my contracts is for 90 days. So that's another thing that